So, what's a former comedy writer's take on criticism of me dropping the occasional F-bomb in my videos, articles, and podcasts? Find out today on the Freedom Club Podcast.
Welcome to the Freedom Club Podcast, where we discover the fight for freedom, fulfillment, passion, and purpose. Your host is Kurt Mercadante, Gallup certified strengths coach, an agency founder who is dedicated to coaching individuals seeking to level up their life and their businesses. The Freedom Club is about unlocking your talents, turning them into strengths, and crushing your objectives. You can learn more at kurtmercadante.com. Welcome to the Freedom Club.
This is the Freedom Club Podcast. I'm your host, Kurt Mercadante, and over the past few months, I've taken on some critics, which is fine with me. They have their right to their opinion, and I totally see where they're coming from, but some of them have been critical of me because in my LinkedIn videos, where I get hundreds of thousands of views each month, in some of my articles, and even here on my podcast, I have dropped the occasional F-bomb and some other choice words. And so I wanted to take, and by the way, this is meant to be somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but if you listen to the whole thing, you can listen to the points that our guest today is making. But our guest today is Roger Wilkerson. He's been on the podcast in the past. He is a former comedy writer, radio producer, improv teacher. And so I asked Roger for his reaction upon learning that some people have been critical of me dropping the occasional F-bomb in some of my videos, articles, writings, and podcasts. And here's what Roger had to say. I have with us here today Roger Wilkerson, sales guru. He's got a background in tutoring children, radio, comedy, you name it. How you doing today, Roger?
I'm okay. And we do a lot of consulting with companies that of adults that act like children. So that's that work.
Yeah, Roger has caused quite a stir amongst the people who attend the Church of Cold Calling and basically saying that cold calling is bullshit.
Yeah, the Church of Cold Callers are very upset with me. I'm on their hit list for sure.
So Roger, as someone who has a background in radio and comedy writing, you know, in recent weeks, a lot of people have always said I get very passionate in my videos. You know, in LinkedIn, I get hundreds of thousands of views.
That's right.
But what I tell people, and they don't believe me, is about a month or so ago, I realized that I was actually holding back. But I gave a speech to an HR audience, and I just decided to be myself. Now, the specific audience, it was relevant to the specific audience. I got up there. I dropped a couple F-bombs. And when I posted the video, they ended up getting combined 280,000 views. So I've done it in a couple other videos. Sometimes I plan it. Sometimes I don't. It comes naturally, right?
Always an F-bomb or?
No, sometimes it's fuck. Sometimes it's shit. Sometimes it's bullshit. Sometimes it's piss people off. And the great majority of people are cool with it. Okay. There's some people, including my mom, who says, why do you got to swear? Why do you got to drop the F-bomb? So, you know, I want to put it out to you. You know, what do you think about this?
Well, okay, so I want to make sure I got this right? So you did some content, and there's a few Fs, and there's a few S's, and there's a few BS's. That's it?
Exactly, right.
And some people complained?
Absolutely.
They're a bunch of fucking idiots. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these people? From a comedy perspective, right? So, you know, there's comedians that work clean, there's comedians that work dirty, right? So it really has always been about what language connects with your audience, right? So if you're dealing with talking to HR people, right, dropping an F-bomb probably really excites them because they want to drop a few F-bombs at their place of work, right? But they can't, right? Or I think I've seen a couple of your posts where you'll say something is bullshit, right? Yeah. So that's refreshing, right? Now, look, the truth is that there are people that get completely offended by any kind of bad language, right? But, you know, check their Pornhub history because it's probably going to be really, really weird stuff, right? So they have a public image and a private image, right? So they're fine with that stuff private, but publicly they don't want to do it, right? So my thing is, you know, I wouldn't say do it intentionally. right? But if it comes up, don't stray away from it. I mean, I was there when I was at the Comedy Store when Eddie Murphy worked out the Raw record, right? And there's a great bit on there, which is now, if you think about it back, hindsight, it's even more profound, where Bill Cosby had called him about cursing too much. Now think about that. If you think about, Bill Cosby was putting this image, but what was he doing? Again, this is the thing when it comes back to the people that are critics, right? Like, yeah, Bill Cosby was the top of the top, but what was he doing? That was so dark that he had to be so clean and so presentable.